C charts are used to monitor the number of occurrences of something of interest. The C in C chart stands for count because that's what you're doing. You're simply counting something that is of interest to you. Now, let's take a look at this scenario. Each month, a few strategy board games are returned to Main House Gaming due to quality problems. Okay, that's a concern. The production manager has 20 months of past data, and let's take a look at this data. It is simply the number of returns, month by month by month. Sometimes they had 1 box returned, sometimes they had none, sometimes they had as many as, 5. Oh, okay. Now, what are we going to do? Notice we're starting with data while things are normal. 20 months worth. And we are going to create a chart in which they can plot this issue of how many games got returned this month, each month in the future, to keep an eye on this. All right, now, there is a little bit of information below the historical data. The production manager wishes to construct a C chart for these returns. All right, then we were just saying we were going to do that, yeah. Setting the limits such that 99.7% of all future monthly returns fall inside the control limits when the game production is functioning as it has over this time period. All right, well, I know we're going to do something with that, but hold on to that thought, because what should the C chart look like? The only thing we really need to do here is fill out these 2 formulas. We need to find the upper control limit and the lower control limit. One of the parameters that we need for that is C bar. What's that? Oh, it's easy. That's just the average of all those past observations. Right, what I drew boxes around. For each month, we have 20 months worth of returns. Just look at those individual numbers and average them all together. 3, 3, 0, 1, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 2. Average them all together. I did that. There's 20 of them. I get that that's an average of 1.9. Or another way to say that is Main House Gaming has had an average of 1.9 games returned each month over these past 20 months. Okay, that's one piece that we need. And actually, that's almost everything, because see how that's used twice in these formulas? The only other thing that we need is Z. We need a Z value. Now, the Z value is going to determine the width of the chart. It's essentially our confidence level, and that's what that 99.7% was about. Because if you've investigated any of the earlier scenarios where Main House Gaming was creating other kinds of charts, you would notice this pattern that the production manager always wants the chart to work correctly 99.7% of the time, when in fact nothing's wrong, the process is in control. So by working correctly, it means anything that was sampled would be marked within the chart. That precision there, that 99.7% corresponds to a Z value of 3.0. That's why we keep quoting the 99.7%, okay? Because that's going to make the chart wide enough that, given the natural distribution of what's varying here, theoretically, if nothing's wrong, 99.7% of anything then was gathered would be marked in the chart. Okay. Oh, well, actually, now at this point, we have everything we need to draw this chart, because we just say upper control limit 1.9 plus 3, right? That's from there, times the square root of 1.9. Which I get is like 1.38. Anyway, upper control limit 6.04 technically. I mean, that is the result of the formula. Now, what I mean by technically, I'll come back to that. Lower control limit, very similar, 1.9 minus 3 times the square root of 1.9. I get negative 2.24, and I am not drawing a box around that. That is the result of the formula. But remember, these are limits on the number of returned games a month. There's no such thing as a negative number of games returned during a month. There's no such thing as negative 2 games having been returned in a month. Right. The lower control limit on these kind of charts can often just naturally return a negative number. In reality, there's no interpretation for that negative number, so we just reset it to 0. Reset. Because I want to draw a chart. And I don't want everybody to laugh at the chart. They're going to be using it in the future to mark returns. It'll have an upper control limit and a lower control limit. The lower control limit's naturally 0. We certainly wouldn't be concerned if there were no returned charts, or excuse me, there were no returned games during the month. The average could be plotted there of 1.9. That might be pretty educational. They're going to be charting whole numbers, correct? They're going to be charting returned games. There was 3 this month, there was 4 this month. So the upper control limit, just a little bit of interpretation here, I mean, you could say, okay, it is 6.04 technically according to the formula, but I'm just going to go ahead and set it at 6. Because somebody's going to be using this chart, they're going to be plotting a whole number. Their real concern is whether it falls inside the limits, because that's okay, or whether it falls outside the limits, which just means, well, things just got a little bit out of hand. Well, it's either going to be a number like 5, 6, 7, or 8. What's the point of plotting the upper control limit at exactly 6.04? Oh, okay, but that's a bit of a judgment call. Anyway, there you go. We've drawn the chart, and in the future, month by month, that's where they would plot this month's number of returned games.